Microplastics have become a silent presence in almost every corner of modern life, spreading far beyond what the human eye can detect. They are no longer limited to oceans or industrial zones, but now exist in the very air we breathe each day. Every inhale carries microscopic particles that come from degraded plastic materials, synthetic fabrics, and urban pollution. What once seemed distant and environmental has now entered the most personal space of human survival. It is not something we can easily see, yet it is constantly around us in motion. These particles travel through invisible pathways, carried by wind currents across cities, villages, and remote landscapes alike. Even places that appear untouched by modern industry are now showing traces of microplastic contamination. This creates a reality where distance from pollution is no longer a guarantee of safety. The world itself has become interconnected through these tiny fragments, moving silently from one environment to another without resistance. It is a reminder that modern materials do not simply disappear when discarded. Water sources have become one of the most direct pathways for exposure, as microplastics are now found in rivers, lakes, and even treated drinking water systems. Every glass of water has the potential to carry invisible particles that originate from packaging, waste breakdown, and industrial runoff. The systems designed to purify water were not originally built for materials so small and persistent. As a result, these particles continue to pass through layers of filtration, entering daily consumption without awareness or detection in normal routines. Food chains have also become deeply involved in this cycle, as microplastics are absorbed by marine life and later transferred to human diets. Fish, salt, and even agricultural produce can carry traces of these materials through environmental exposure. This creates a loop where what is consumed by one form of life eventually becomes part of another. It is no longer just about pollution in one area, but about how interconnected the entire system has become over time, linking ecosystems in unexpected ways. Indoor environments, which were once considered safe zones, are also now part of this exposure network. Synthetic carpets, furniture, clothing fibres, and household dust all contribute to the presence of microplastics inside homes. Every movement, every breath, and every interaction within enclosed spaces can release or resuspend particles into the air. This means that even moments of rest and safety are surrounded by invisible elements that originate from everyday materials used for comfort and convenience. Urban environments intensify this presence further, as traffic, construction, and industrial activity continuously generate new sources of microplastic release. The breakdown of tyres, packaging waste, and synthetic materials adds to the density of particles in the atmosphere. Cities become hubs where human activity and environmental transformation intersect constantly. The more developed an area becomes, the more complex its invisible environmental footprint grows, blending progress with unintended consequences. Even remote ecosystems, far from direct human activity, are no longer untouched by this phenomenon. Studies have shown microplastic traces in mountain regions, polar ice, and deep ocean layers. This indicates that these particles are capable of travelling through global systems such as air currents and water cycles. The spread is not confined by geography or borders, making it a truly global condition that reflects the scale of modern material use and its long-term environmental reach. The persistence of microplastics also makes them particularly significant, as they do not easily break down in natural conditions. Instead, they fragment into smaller and smaller pieces, increasing their ability to spread and integrate into different environments. This continuous breakdown process ensures that once released, they remain part of the ecosystem for extended periods. It creates a cycle where removal is not immediate, and accumulation becomes part of the natural flow of environmental systems over time. Human activity remains at the centre of this widespread presence, as the production and disposal of plastic materials continue to increase globally. Convenience, packaging, and industrial design have contributed to the expansion of plastic use in everyday life. Over time, these materials transition from useful products into environmental fragments that spread across air, water, and soil. The connection between daily habits and global exposure becomes more visible as research continues to uncover the extent of this distribution. What makes this reality even more significant is that exposure is no longer limited to specific regions, occupations, or lifestyles. It has become a shared condition across populations, affecting individuals regardless of awareness or intention. The presence of microplastics reflects the scale of modern development and the unintended pathways it has created. It continues to circulate through systems that sustain life itself, moving quietly through spaces that define daily existence. Science is gradually shifting the way it understands the human body's relationship with modern environmental stressors, including microplastics. Instead of searching for a single external detox solution, researchers are now focusing on how internal biological systems already manage foreign particles. The liver, kidneys, gut, and immune system all work continuously to filter, process, and eliminate harmful substances. These systems were not designed specifically for microplastics, but they represent the body's built-in defense network that constantly adapts to new challenges. The idea is not that the body is powerless, but that it is already engaged in an ongoing process of protection. The liver plays a central role in filtering toxins from the bloodstream, breaking down complex substances into forms that can be removed from the body. While microplastics themselves are not processed in the same way as chemical toxins, the liver still contributes to overall metabolic balance. When the liver is functioning efficiently, the body maintains a stronger internal environment that reduces secondary stress caused by environmental exposure. This highlights the importance of supporting liver health through nutrition, hydration, and reduced toxic burden in daily life. The gut has emerged as one of the most important areas of scientific focus when discussing environmental particles. It is not only responsible for digestion, but also acts as a barrier that determines what enters the bloodstream. A healthy gut lining can limit unwanted absorption, while an imbalanced one may become more permeable. Researchers are studying how diet, fiber intake, and microbiome diversity influence this barrier function. The gut microbiome itself acts like an internal ecosystem, interacting with immune responses and shaping how the body reacts to external stress. The immune system adds another layer of protection, constantly identifying and responding to foreign particles. It does not detox in the traditional sense, but it helps manage inflammation and maintain internal stability. When the immune system is balanced, it can distinguish between harmful and harmless elements more effectively. However, when it is overactivated or weakened, the body may struggle to maintain this balance. This is why overall health is deeply connected to immune regulation rather than isolated detox processes. Inflammation is now recognized as a key factor that influences how well these systems perform. Chronic inflammation can reduce the efficiency of natural biological processes, making it harder for the body to maintain equilibrium. On the other hand, a lower inflammatory state supports smoother functioning across multiple systems. Scientists are exploring how diet, sleep, stress management, and physical activity contribute to controlling inflammation levels. These lifestyle factors indirectly support the body's ability to handle environmental exposure more effectively. Kidney function also plays a supporting role in maintaining internal balance by regulating fluids and filtering waste products. While they may not directly process microplastics, their ability to maintain homeostasis is essential for overall health. When kidney function is strong, the body maintains better fluid balance and toxin elimination pathways. This contributes to a stable internal environment where other systems can operate more efficiently. It shows how interconnected the body's processes are rather than functioning in isolation. Nutrition has become one of the most researched areas in relation to environmental resilience. Certain dietary patterns, especially those rich in whole foods, fiber, and antioxidants, are linked to improved metabolic health. These nutrients support cellular repair mechanisms and reduce oxidative stress. While they do not remove microplastics directly, they strengthen the body's capacity to handle external stressors. The focus is shifting from elimination of a single substance to strengthening overall biological function. Hydration is another essential element in maintaining system efficiency. Water supports circulation, digestion, and waste removal, helping the body keep its internal processes running smoothly. Adequate hydration allows organs to perform their roles more effectively, ensuring that natural filtration systems are not overloaded. Even small improvements in hydration habits can influence how efficiently the body maintains balance under environmental pressure. It is a simple but foundational aspect of internal health. Sleep and recovery also play a critical role in how the body manages daily exposure. During sleep, the body undergoes repair and regulation processes that restore balance across multiple systems. Cellular maintenance, hormonal regulation, and immune adjustments all occur during rest cycles. Without adequate sleep, these processes become less efficient, reducing the body's ability to maintain resilience. Researchers emphasize that recovery is not passive, but an active biological requirement. Physical activity contributes further by improving circulation, metabolic efficiency, and immune function. Movement helps the body maintain energy balance and supports the natural flow of biological systems. It also reduces stress levels, which indirectly supports lower inflammation. Exercise does not act as a detox mechanism for microplastics, but it enhances the overall environment in which the body operates. This creates a stronger foundation for long-term resilience against environmental challenges. Inflammation has become one of the most important biological concepts in understanding how the body responds to modern environmental stress. It is not a disease on its own, but rather a natural defense mechanism that activates when the body perceives stress, injury, or foreign substances. In small, controlled amounts, inflammation is protective and helps the body repair itself. However, when it becomes chronic or unregulated, it can start to interfere with normal physiological processes. This balance between helpful and harmful inflammation is now central to scientific discussions about overall health and resilience. When the body is exposed to constant environmental stressors such as pollution, processed foods, and synthetic particles, inflammatory pathways can remain active for longer periods than necessary. This continuous activation places strain on multiple systems, including the immune system and metabolic pathways. Over time, this can reduce the efficiency of how the body responds to new challenges. Instead of returning to a balanced state after exposure, the body remains in a heightened state of alert, which affects long-term stability and internal regulation. Researchers are now studying how chronic inflammation may influence the body's ability to handle environmental particles, including microplastics. While microplastics themselves are not fully understood in terms of biological impact, inflammation appears to play a role in how the body reacts to foreign materials in general. A system already under inflammatory stress may be less efficient at processing and isolating unwanted substances. This makes inflammation not just a symptom, but a key factor in overall biological resilience. Diet has emerged as one of the strongest influences on inflammation levels in the body. Certain foods, especially highly processed or sugar-rich diets, are associated with increased inflammatory responses. On the other hand, diets rich in whole foods, fruits, vegetables, healthy fats, and fiber are linked to lower inflammation markers. This connection has led scientists to focus more on nutrition as a regulatory tool rather than just a source of energy. The idea is that food directly communicates with the body's internal systems, shaping how they respond to external stress. The gut plays a central role in controlling inflammation, as it houses a large portion of the immune system. When the gut microbiome is balanced and diverse, it helps regulate immune responses and maintain a stable internal environment. However, when the gut barrier is weakened or the microbiome is disrupted, inflammatory signals can increase. This condition is sometimes referred to as gut-driven inflammation, where imbalances in digestion influence the entire body. It shows how deeply connected internal systems are in maintaining health. Sleep quality also has a direct impact on inflammatory levels. During deep sleep, the body regulates immune activity and reduces unnecessary inflammatory signaling. Poor or irregular sleep patterns can disrupt this process, leading to elevated inflammation over time. This is why chronic sleep deprivation is often associated with a wide range of health issues. The body relies on sleep not just for rest, but for recalibration of its internal defense systems, ensuring that inflammation remains balanced and controlled. Stress is another major contributor to inflammation, especially when it becomes prolonged or unmanaged. Psychological stress triggers hormonal responses that can activate inflammatory pathways in the body. Over time, this can create a feedback loop where stress and inflammation reinforce each other. Modern lifestyles with constant digital stimulation and pressure have made this more common. Understanding this connection helps explain why mental and physical health are deeply intertwined at a biological level. Physical activity is one of the most effective natural regulators of inflammation. Regular movement helps the body clear stress hormones, improve circulation, and maintain metabolic balance. It also supports immune function, allowing the body to respond more efficiently to environmental challenges. However, excessive or poorly managed physical stress can have the opposite effect, showing that balance is essential. The goal is not intensity alone, but consistency and sustainability in movement patterns. Environmental factors such as air quality, water purity, and exposure to synthetic materials also contribute to inflammatory load. When the body is consistently exposed to low-level environmental stresses, it may maintain a slightly elevated inflammatory state. This is not immediately noticeable but can accumulate over time. Scientists refer to this as silent inflammation, where the body adapts to constant exposure without obvious symptoms, yet internal stress remains active. The overall scientific perspective is shifting toward prevention and balance rather than reaction. Instead of focusing only on removing specific substances, researchers are increasingly interested in how to strengthen the body's natural regulatory systems. Inflammation is now seen as a central marker of this internal balance. By understanding how lifestyle, environment, and biology interact, science is gradually uncovering how resilience is built at the cellular and systemic level. The gut is now being recognized as one of the most powerful control centers in the human body, far beyond its traditional role in digestion. It is not just a tube that processes food, but a complex ecosystem that constantly communicates with the brain, immune system, and metabolic functions. Inside the gut lives a vast community of microorganisms known as the microbiome, which plays a critical role in regulating health. These microbes help break down food, produce essential compounds, and influence how the body responds to external stress. When balanced, this system supports stability, but when disrupted, it can affect the entire body in unexpected ways. One of the most important functions of the gut is acting as a selective barrier between the external environment and the internal bloodstream. It decides what nutrients are absorbed and what substances are kept out. This barrier is made up of tightly packed cells that are influenced by diet, stress, and lifestyle. When this lining is strong, it prevents unwanted particles from entering circulation. When it becomes weakened, often due to poor diet or chronic stress, it can become more permeable, allowing harmful substances to pass through more easily. This is why gut integrity is now a major focus in modern health science. The microbiome itself is incredibly diverse, containing trillions of bacteria that work together in a delicate balance. These microorganisms are not harmful by default. Many of them are essential for survival. They help regulate digestion, support immune function, and even influence mood through chemical signaling. When this balance is disturbed, a condition known as dysbiosis can occur. Dysbiosis is associated with inflammation, reduced nutrient absorption, and increased vulnerability to environmental stresses. Scientists are still discovering how deeply this microbial system influences overall health. Diet plays a central role in shaping the gut environment. Foods rich in fiber, such as fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains, provide nourishment for beneficial bacteria. These foods encourage diversity within the microbiome, which is linked to stronger resilience and better overall function. On the other hand, highly processed foods, excessive sugar, and artificial additives can disrupt this balance. Over time, dietary patterns can either strengthen or weaken the gut's ability to maintain stability, showing how daily choices directly influence internal biology. The gut is also closely connected to the immune system, with a large portion of immune cells located in the intestinal lining. This means that immune responses are often first shaped in the digestive tract before affecting the rest of the body. When the gut is healthy, immune reactions are more controlled and efficient. When it is imbalanced, the immune system can become overactive or underactive, leading to irregular responses. This connection explains why gut health is often linked to broader systemic conditions and overall resilience. Another important aspect of gut function is its communication with the brain through what is known as the gut-brain axis. This bidirectional communication system uses nerves, hormones, and chemical signals to send information between the digestive system and the central nervous system. This means that emotional states can influence digestion, and gut health can influence mood and cognitive function. Stress, anxiety, and emotional imbalance can therefore have a direct impact on how efficiently the gut operates, creating a feedback loop between mind and body. The gut barrier itself is sensitive to external stressors, such as lack of sleep, chronic stress, and environmental toxins. When these factors accumulate, the integrity of the gut lining can weaken, a condition often referred to as increased intestinal permeability. In this state, substances that would normally be blocked may enter the bloodstream more easily. This can trigger immune responses and contribute to systemic inflammation. It highlights how environmental and lifestyle factors are deeply connected to internal biological defense systems. Hydration also plays a key role in maintaining gut function. Water supports digestion, nutrient transport, and waste elimination, all of which are essential for a healthy digestive system. Without adequate hydration, the gut can become less efficient, slowing down processes that keep the microbiome balanced. Even small changes in hydration habits can influence how smoothly the digestive system operates. This simple factor often works quietly in the background, but has significant effects on overall gut performance. Physical activity contributes to gut health by promoting regular movement through the digestive tract and improving circulation. Exercise has been shown to increase microbial diversity, which is a key indicator of a healthy microbiome. It also helps regulate stress levels, which indirectly benefits gut function. However, excessive or extreme physical stress can have the opposite effect, showing that balance is essential. Moderate and consistent activity appears to provide the most benefit for maintaining gut stability over time. The gut's influence extends far beyond digestion, affecting metabolism, immunity, mental health, and even how the body responds to environmental exposure. Because of this, scientists now view it as a central hub in the body's internal communication network. Its ability to adapt, respond, and regulate makes it one of the most dynamic systems in human biology. Understanding its role helps explain why so many aspects of health are interconnected through a single internal ecosystem that constantly interacts with both internal and external environments. Daily lifestyle choices may seem small in isolation, but over time they shape the entire internal environment of the human body in profound ways. Every meal, every glass of water, every hour of sleep, and every moment of movement contributes to how the body functions at a cellular level. These choices do not just affect short-term energy or mood, they influence long-term resilience and biological balance. The body is constantly responding, adapting, and recalibrating based on what it is given. This means health is not built in a single moment, but through repeated patterns over time. One of the most powerful lifestyle factors is diet, which directly interacts with metabolism, immunity, and inflammation. Foods that are rich in nutrients support the body's natural repair systems and provide the building blocks for cellular health. Whole foods such as vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, and legumes offer compounds that help maintain stability within internal systems. In contrast, heavily processed foods can increase metabolic strain and disrupt balance. Over time, these dietary patterns accumulate, shaping how efficiently the body can manage external stressors. Hydration is another essential factor that is often underestimated in its impact on overall health. Water is involved in nearly every biological process, including circulation, digestion, and waste removal. When hydration levels are optimal, the body can maintain smoother internal flow and more efficient functioning. Even mild dehydration can slow down these processes, affecting energy levels and cognitive performance. Consistent hydration supports the body's ability to maintain equilibrium under daily environmental demands. Sleep is one of the most critical yet overlooked elements of biological maintenance. During sleep, the body undergoes repair processes that restore balance across multiple systems. Hormones are regulated, cells are repaired, and immune activity is recalibrated during deep rest cycles. Without sufficient sleep, these processes become disrupted, leading to reduced resilience and increased internal stress. Over time, poor sleep patterns can accumulate and affect nearly every aspect of health, from metabolism to emotional stability. Physical activity plays a key role in maintaining circulation, metabolic efficiency, and overall system coordination. Movement helps the body distribute nutrients, regulate energy, and support detoxification pathways. It also reduces stress levels, which indirectly benefits immune and hormonal balance. Regular exercise encourages adaptability within the body, allowing systems to respond more effectively to challenges. However, balance is important, as excessive physical stress without recovery can have negative effects. Stress management is another essential component of lifestyle health that influences internal biological function. Chronic stress activates hormonal pathways that can place strain on multiple systems if left unregulated. Over time, this can affect digestion, immunity, and energy balance. Practices that reduce stress, whether through rest, mindfulness, or relaxation, help restore equilibrium within the body. This creates a more stable internal environment where natural processes can function more efficiently. Environmental exposure is also shaped by daily choices, including the materials we interact with and the spaces we occupy. From packaging to household products, modern life introduces a range of synthetic elements into daily routines. While many of these are unavoidable, awareness of exposure sources can help reduce unnecessary load on the body. Small adjustments in lifestyle, such as choosing cleaner materials or reducing excess plastic use, contribute to lowering overall environmental stress. The combination of these factors creates a cumulative effect that determines long-term health outcomes. No single habit defines well-being on its own, but together they form a pattern that either supports or challenges the body's natural systems. Over time, consistent positive choices reinforce biological resilience, while inconsistent or harmful patterns can weaken internal stability. This cumulative nature of lifestyle means that small decisions carry more weight than they may appear to in the moment. Modern science increasingly emphasizes prevention over reaction, focusing on how lifestyle can shape internal balance before issues arise. This approach highlights the importance of understanding how everyday behavior influences biological systems at a deeper level. Instead of relying solely on intervention after problems develop, the focus shifts toward maintaining stability through consistent habits. This creates a foundation where the body is better prepared to handle environmental and internal challenges. Ultimately, lifestyle choices act as continuous signals to the body, guiding how it functions, adapts, and responds over time. These signals accumulate quietly but powerfully, shaping the internal environment in ways that are not immediately visible, but deeply influential. The body responds not just to isolated actions, but to long-term patterns that define its state of resilience and balance across years of experience.